I know you're supposed to smile when you take a photo. Well, not this time because I'm mad as hell. Why? Because I just heard that the MLB is moving the All Star out of Atlanta, Georgia. And here is what was quoted from ESPN from Rob Manfred, you little pussy. And I'll get to why I'm calling him that. This is his quote. Over the last week, we've engaged in thoughtful conversations with clubs, former and current players, the Players Association, and the Players Alliance, among others, to listen to their views. Manfred said in his statement, I've decided the best way to demonstrate our values as a sport is by relocating this year's All-Star game and MLB draft. Major League Baseball fundamentally supports voting rights for all Americans and opposes restrictions to the ballot box. Nowhere does it say he's read the damn bill. In no place in this article from ESPN, hell, who wrote this crap? Or is it just one of their, who is it? Alden Gonzalez. Well, whoop-de-fucking-do. Have you read the bill? No one has read the bill. They have read bits and pieces of what they want you to fucking hear. You got that? On my radio show tomorrow on Dawson's Domain on BBS One Radio, I'm going to go through this bill. It's 95 pages long, and it's an amendment to their current bill. They're changing things. If you read it, if you actually take the time to read it, it's going to shock the hell out of you how they're tightening up the mail-in balloting, mail-in balloting, and the absentee balloting. And then if there's a mistake on the provisional balloting, this is what it is over. All this crap about you can't bring transported across the country or put into these dense housing populations. I'm not even going to get into that because that's a whole different topic. But Jesus Christ, give me a break. They're going to move the All-Star game, and none of them have read the bill. This is the mob culture rule. This is the hard left wing of the media putting out the narrative. I've watched some of the, oh God, I hate the news. I just hate it with a passion. I don't care who it is. If it's Fox, if it's MSNBC, if it's CNN, if it's any of them, it's all a bunch of shit. That's all it is. It's just a bunch of shit. They just want you to hear their side of their opinion that is slanted so far. If you'd be the only skier on the Alps sitting on rocks and you can't go anywhere. This is bullshit. It's all based on opinion, and that's what the article says. It's opinion. And then even the Atlanta Braves, what does their organization say? It just pisses me off to no end. This was neither our decision nor our recommendation, and we are saddened. Saddened? You ought to be mad as hell, you dumb sons of bitches. Stop being nice. Stop flowering your comments. We're mad as hell. But has anyone said, have you read the bill? A few nights ago, hell, maybe it was Monday. I don't remember. I got so irritated. But WGN had a reporter that got on there, and they were talking about this. And the first thing out of his mouth was he said, we've read the bill. And I listened to his report, and it's like, you haven't read jack shit. You did what everyone else is doing. You saw something and said, ooh, that's what we want right there. That's going to push our story, fair and unbiased and unslanted, and we'll give you this side and we'll give you that side. Man, every one of you that buys into what the networks are telling you don't have a brain. And when you parrot it on Facebook or Twitter or any other site you're on, you're just as bad because you didn't do the research. I told a group 2 weeks ago, and I have been negligent in that I was going to redo my take on HR 1. And it's not my take, it's what's in the bill. And you see where, well, 67% of Americans think it's a good bill because they haven't read it. It's 485 pages long, and they haven't read it. And I could come up with a list of questions off of that bill and ask all the people that I live around, and I bet I could get 70% of them to say, yeah, that sounds pretty damn good. And then I'm going to tell them the rest of what they need to know, and they're going to go, huh? You didn't tell me that. Polls are ridiculous. You know, you can set up a poll however you want it and set the outcome how you want it. I mean, I would get those flyers in the polls because I got on the Trump mailing list, and I would fill them out, and then I would read the questions. It's like, okay. Well, these people are paid a shitload of money to come up with questions to get the appropriate responses that they want. It's like if you've ever been in court, anybody been in court, anybody been a witness in court, anybody been charged with a crime and had to take the stand? I did. It was a civil assault case on a construction site because this ignorant son of a bitch I was forced to hire, that's a whole different other story, didn't know what he was doing, couldn't do a damn thing. And I told him, you don't pour another handicap ramp until I come out there and I personally inspect the forms and tell you it's ready to go. I get a call at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and he says, I'm pouring concrete. And I said, why? Did you call me? No, you didn't call me. I've never heard any. Oh, I've got a couple of comments here. Let me finish this guy. And it just blew my mind. MLB shot themselves in the foot with this decision. You're damn right they did. Ansel 1961. And I'm black. I live in Metro Atlanta. I've never had any issue voting. Okay, I'm going to come back to you on that because of this. I've got the percentage of voters that were registered that voted in the 2020 election. So this guy, he's pouring concrete. Well, the city of Dallas inspector came out. Well, the city of Dallas inspectors got shit for brains. That's all I can tell you because you've already poured like 5 of these, and they've all got to be torn out and redone because they don't meet ADA specs, okay? You got that? They don't meet the specs. And I come out there, and he's got concrete on the ground, and I just fucking lose it. I just lose it right there because it's all wrong. All the forms are wrong. Well, he says I assaulted him. I never touched the guy. Never touched him. I turned, went across the street, got with one of his workers, showed him how to fix the forms and make it right. Well, he files a suit against me, and I get asked a question by the ADA. And I forgot exactly how she worded it, but it was a question that if I answered yes, I was screwed. If I answered no, I was screwed. She was really good at this. Well, that's what pollsters do when they call and ask you questions and get into these things. So then she had to revise her question. And once again, it was 2 parts. My attorney didn't object. It's like, okay, I've got to think about this. I got to answer it and get on with it. So what it came down to was he claimed I used the N-word on him. No, he used it on me, but that's a whole different story. But the pollsters are just ridiculous. Now, Ansel said he lives in Metro Atlanta, and he's never had a problem with voting. 68% of registered voters voted in the 2020 election. And Minnesota, let me see. Let me pull this up real quick. I got to go to my little cheat sheet that I have ready for tomorrow's broadcast. I was wrong, 65%. But what was even more interesting was that there were 16,000 more votes cast in the Senate race than the presidential and 52,000 less for the House of Representative races in Georgia. And then when they had the runoff, there was a huge drop off. It was 10% in the, was it Warnock Loeffler? 10% fewer showed up and 11% fewer for Purdue and Ossoff. Well, how did that happen? That's a whole different story. But here's some other ones to think about. Now, this is the percentage of registered voters that voted in the general election. Pennsylvania, 88%. Wisconsin, 88%. Arizona, 78%. Michigan, 66%. And Nevada, 86%. You talk about numbers off the charts. That's ridiculous. It's great on one sense that a lot of people, more people got out and voted percentage-wise than we've ever seen in history. And the bill that no one has read but everybody wants to comment about is ridiculous. In fact, Psaki the other day, she flat came out and said Kemp doesn't know what's in his own bill. Bullshit. She can't answer a question unless it's pre-sent to her so she can come up with a prepared answer and then read it. But for Manfred to pull out, just mad as hell over this. It's all an opinion piece. We got a whole bunch of people together. I don't give a damn if you got 1,000 people together and talked about it. The first question I've got is, did you read the damn bill? Has anybody taken the chance and sat down and read 95 pages to get educated? No. And that goes for all these overpaid bobbleheads on the news channels that you watch. I don't know who's doing their research. Mr. Potato Head? Even canceled, he'd probably do a better job than them. But, man, I was just so excited about baseball starting this year. And this is how we start the season. We're moving it because we don't know why. We just know we're going to. And Ansel 61, if you have any light to add to this discussion, I would really appreciate you calling in to the show tomorrow on Dawson's Domain, because this is probably going to run at least an hour and 15 to an hour and a half. I mean, this is nuts. They're basing it off of what? Off of speculation, off of bad information, off of not being informed. And who suffers? The city of Atlanta, economically, will suffer from the All-Star game being moved out. And if you'd read the law, if you'd read what they changed, it's tightening up. I mean, the one thing, and I don't want to get into this because I'm really going to drill into it tomorrow, but damn it, they talk about voter restriction. Well, the initial times in the original, what was already set up was 9 to 4. Okay. Hang on, Ansel. Let me pull that up for you. I hate to break right there, but I probably need to let my blood pressure settle down just a bit. Oh, I know. Let's see. Let me pull up the site. BBS Radio 1. I should have had this on my fingertips, but I haven't printed out that sheet yet. And where is it? Where is it? Host radio talk show. Is that it? The number is 888-710-8061. I think. Let's see. Is that the right one? That might. Oh, here we go. Main talk shows. Schedule 2. Okay, the number is 888-627-6008. Again, that's 888-627-6008. I go on at 2, and I will be discussing this probably starting about 2:20 because I've got a book review to do. I'm going to go through the initial baseball. I'm a Rangers fan and a Tigers fan. The Tigers played in the snow. The Rangers played in good weather, and there was 24 runs scored in that game. So I'm going to do a breakdown on that. So say about 2:20, 2:25, just call in, and they'll let me know that you're there, and I will come to you, and you can tell me your experiences in voting in Metro Atlanta. And we're going to go through this bill and everything they're talking about. And then when it's all said and done, if you think it's bad, that's up to the listener. If you think it's good, that's up to the listener. Now, I didn't cherry pick. I went through the main facts, and here's what they're doing different. And that's it. That's it. But I look forward to talking to you tomorrow, Ansel. But I am just furious that they are moving the All-Star game because they are a bunch of chicken shits. I didn't agree when Manfred became the commissioner, and now he was shown why. This is pathetic. But I have calmed down. That's a good thing. So for those of you that just tuned in, we'll be discussing this on Dawson's Domain. It's on BBS Radio 1 at 2 o'clock CST tomorrow. And I hope we get a lot of callers and we light this up and debate this as it should be instead of speculation, assumptions, and bad information. So until tomorrow, you all have a good evening and stay safe.